Hello good people, I'm going to look at comparing ratios. Electrum is an alloy of gold and silver, and some of the first known metal coins were made from this alloy. Let's say that I have two of these Electrum coins, and I want to know which one contains more gold. When it comes to the coin on the left, the ratio of gold to silver is given as 16 to 26. While the ratio of the coin on the right is 18 to 32. Although it is not necessary, I like to simplify my ratios first. In case of 16 and 26, both of these numbers are even numbers, therefore they are both definitely divisible by 2. And so the equivalent ratio would be 8:13. With regards to the coin on the right, 18 and 32 are even numbers and therefore they are both divisible by 2. And so the equivalent ratio would be 9:16. To compare these two ratios, I'm going to convert them into fractions. And so the first ratio of 8:13 could be written as 8 gold over 13 silver. And that will give me 0.62 when rounded to 2 decimal places, gold per silver. This essentially means that for every silver part, I will have 0.62 parts gold. In case of the ratio on the right, 9:16 can be written as 9 gold over 16 silver. And that would give me 0.56 when rounded to 2 decimal places, gold per silver. In other words, for every part silver, I will have 0.56 parts gold. Based on these calculations, the coin on the left contains more gold. There is another way to approach this problem. Rather than comparing ratios, we could calculate the proportion of gold in each coin. Recall that when we are dealing with a proportion, we compare one part to the total. This means that for each coin, I will need a total column too. For the coin on the left, if I look at the simplified ratio, I have 8 parts gold, 13 parts silver, therefore the total is 21 parts. To calculate the proportion of gold, I'm going to look at the relationship between gold parts and total. There are 8 gold parts and the total is 21. 8 divided by 21 will give me 0.38 when rounded to 2 decimal places. Recall that we can convert a proportion into a percentage by multiplying by 100. And so I could say that 38% of this coin is gold. A similar calculation can be performed for the coin on the right. There are 9 parts gold, and the total number of parts would be 9 plus 16, which is 25. So to calculate the proportion, I would have 9 over 25. And that gives me 0.36. Once again, I could express this as a percentage by multiplying by 100, and therefore say that 36% of this coin is gold. Let me look at one more example. Most alcoholic beverages are made by the process of distillation. And so it is that Uncle Vanya is making brandy from fermented plum juice. In this particular case, we want to calculate which bottle contains more alcohol. In case of the bottle on the left, the ratio of alcohol to water is 35 to 65. When it comes to the bottle on the right, the ratio is 36 to 68. Once more, I like to simplify my ratios. On the left, 35 and 65 are both divisible by 5. The equivalent ratio would be 7:13. The values 36 and 68 are both divisible by 4. And so the equivalent ratio is 9:17. As before, I'm going to convert both of these ratios into fractions. And so on the left, I will have 7/13, which will give me 0.54 when rounded to 2 decimal places. While on the right, I will have 9/17, and that will give me 0.53 when rounded to 2 decimal places. Based on this, the bottle on the left contains more alcohol. I know I'm taking a risk of repeating myself, but we can solve this entire problem by looking at the proportion of alcohol within each bottle. For that, I need the total column. On the left, the total is 20. On the right, the total would be 26. Now that we have the total values, we can calculate the proportion of alcohol in each bottle. For the bottle on the left, the proportion of alcohol would be 7/20. And that gives a nice 0.35. And so I could say that the bottle on the left is 35% alcohol. What about the bottle on the right? In this case, we have 9 parts alcohol and the total is 26. So we will have 9/26. And now we end up with an interesting situation. If I am to round 9/26 to 2 decimal places, I will end up with 0.35, the same result. However, 7/20 and 9/26 are not equivalent fractions. The fact that I'm getting the same result is an artifact of rounding. If I want to establish a difference between these two results, I need more decimal places. Rather than rounding to 2 decimal places, I'm going to round both results to 3 decimal places. In case of the bottle on the left, I will have 0.350. Whereas when it comes to the bottle on the right, rather than 0.35, I will end up with 0.346 when rounded to 3 decimal places. And now I could say that the bottle on the right is 34.6% alcohol, which means that the brandy in the bottle on the left is more alcoholic. Although after 3 or 4 shots, the experience will be the same. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.